today is really a victory, not only for those attorneys general, but primarily for fans, for consumers, and for the rule of law. It's really critically important because Live Nation and its subsidiary Ticketmaster engaged in this monopoly where they focused primarily on ticket sales, where they focused on promotion, where they owned a significant number of venues and marketing as well. And so we are seeking divestiture to break up these two companies. It goes back to when they were when they first merged in 2010. There were some terms that DOJ put in place, and then in 2020 they again violated those terms. And so it's important that individuals understand the reason why we decided to move forward with this case is because they continued to violate those terms. They are a recidivist organization, a corporation.
And how does that work?
And it was really critically important.
So many consumers, they feel like completely outgunned. And so you, as you mentioned, other attorneys general in other states, you fought this for consumers. What do you say to people who feel completely outgunned by these big companies? What's going to change for them?
I think it's important that individuals understand that this was the liability phase of this trial. Next, we will go to remedies, and those remedies will be argued before a judge. And what we are seeking is divestiture, which means a breakup between those two companies, as well as divestiture from all of the amphitheaters that they own. They own 70% of the venues in our nation. And it's important that individuals understand that we are focusing on the issue of affordability, the ticket pricing. That is what is critically important. And as we move forward, fans and consumers and those who purchase ticket from Live Nation and Ticketmaster, they may see some damages. They may see some relief. And states will also see some damages. Let me also say, Ari, that what was critical in this particular case is some of the damaging emails that we received from some of the ticketing directors that they bragged about the high fees the company charges its fans. They said things such as, we are robbing them blind, that these people are so stupid. They also said that I almost feel bad taking advantage of them. It's also important that they also said that we gouge them, that we rob them blind, baby. Yeah. And that's how we do it. Those emails, those texts, that's what did them in, because they thought that they were above the law. And at the end of the day, after discovery, and after we were able to get these texts and these emails, we were able to read it to the jury, and the jury had enough of these recidivists, enough of these individuals taking advantage of consumer and fans. And so it was important that we stand up, and that we stand up for consumers and fans who are just sick and tired of these high prices.
Yeah, and the evidence was powerful. I thought very damning against them. On a lighter note, some New Yorkers may be wondering, will this victory make it easier to get those sold-out Yankee Stadium Jay-Z tickets?
You know, listen, Ari, I don't know whether or not we're going to get relief immediately. We've got to go through, we have to go through the remedies stage. And then I'm pretty confident that there will be appeals, but we're going to continue to push forward on behalf of fans and to provide them some relief. And again, we are seeking a breakup. The last time that we saw a breakup in a monopoly case was way back with Ma Bell, with AT&T. And attorneys general are now using antitrust laws to break up mega corporations, which prey upon consumers and fans and reduce the price of tickets, as well as a number of other products that are in our marketplace.
While I have you, you've been making news on other items as well, a headline and a case about Donald Trump's voter suppression efforts or restricting how votes may ultimately be counted. Tell us about that effort and what you're saying to your own constituents in New York and elsewhere, people are watching, about how voting will be protected going into these midterms.
You know, I had the opportunity to go to Selma recently to celebrate the Jubilee. I marched over the Edmund Pettus Bridge. I remember those individuals who sacrificed for that basic right from which all other rights emanate, and that is the right to vote. And it's so critically important that we, as attorneys general, not allow individuals to suppress the right to vote. that we not allow any agency to intimidate voters, that we should expand the basic franchise and that more individuals should vote. And it's really critically important that individuals reject this notion that individuals who are not allowed to vote are voting. It's not the case at all. In fact, more Americans should vote. But unfortunately, when you put up barriers and when you can't win based on the merits and your policies, then you've got to steal. And I and other Democratic attorneys general will stand up and fight against any efforts to suppress the right to vote on behalf of all of those who died for that basic right.
I've got only a minute left. Any response to what was a now failed attempt by the administration to build a case against you and reports that they're going back at it? Your response?
Ari, I took an oath when I took this office almost 8 years ago. I took an oath to protect individuals in the great state of New York. And all that I do each and every day is I walk into this office and all that I do is what can we do to protect the interest of New Yorkers? And when anyone or any agency or any individual seeks to harm New York, I've got a responsibility and duty to honor that oath and to take action to protect the interest of New Yorkers. I do my job. I put my head down each and every day and I go to work and I don't worry about any man and I don't worry about anyone who's seeking to engage in retribution. It's really all about New York, and it's all about standing up for New Yorkers and standing up for the rule of law.